Yeah, like you mentioned, and not even a single heavy tank, eh? A T-69 and a Pershing to complete the lineup.
Just completely out armored this time. If they go for the hilltop, they're just gonna be the class of tanks is going to be too big. The differential is going to be way too big for Silidux to actually make up for that. So
I think so too, because
they have to go for something different.
I mean, even with if you're going to go with a really light setup, you might want to have at least like 1 or 2 T-32s to just block the central hilltop and just hold off the
any
assault.
heavy take on.
Exactly, because with the Pershing and T-69, well, with all the respect that I've got to these medium tanks, especially the Pershing, which is a great tanker for its class, against like, well, pretty much when you look at the other lineup, a pair of IS-3s and a T-32, you
can't actually. Let me stop you right there, because on your actually you can't see it on your screen right now, but Silidux have committed almost all of their forces to this Western Isle right at this point. They have actually committed 4 of their tier 8s. Only DN4 has actually made it to the kind of central part of the hilltop,
which is smart because that's all you need to actually survive. Like, you know, until pretty much you've got. I mean, yeah.
But if PvP realize that this many tanks are over here on the Western Isle, they're just going to force their way down the middle of the map. And
I think
if they do that, Silidux won't be able to stop that.
I think they will too, because they had spotted like the move, and look at that, they're already like monopolizing the hilltop right now. I mean, of course, like Silidux is attempting to go for a flank at this point, but yeah, like you mentioned, the central hilltop has been completely monopolized by the Silidux team, by the PvP team.
Look at that. Hey, just met you taking a lot of damage, taking down to 450 health. Nice job by the Silidux, using this long-range engagement on this Western Isle to get some nice angles and throwing down damage without taking too much themselves. Look at Ashgar Musketeer and his teammate over there, Alt. Yeah, throwing out so much damage.
You know what? Like, that's the thing.
I don't believe this.
I know, had I been like PvP, I would have left at least a heavy tank guard. You know, just
the Western Isle.
The Western Isle.
Or even the AMX-13, even KU. Over there on the PvP side, he's in the AMX-13, and I don't know why he's not trying to do something about
Exactly, like I would have probably left like at least the 5100 and that 1390 just a little closer towards the southern base to at least not maybe stop, but at least delay the flank coming from the West Isle, because
look at this, they're going for a push. PvP realized they gotta go right now, and they're gonna rush in onto Alt or T4 here on the Silidux side. Vayne also starting to take damage right now.
They've got so much armor, though.
They do.
It's just, yeah, and it's gonna be crucial for Silidux not to lose any of those 1390s, because then like their advantage would be nullified. But at the moment,
T4 about to go taken down.
Yeah, indeed. I do agree with you, though. Just a really good job from Silidux so far. But yeah, because right now all those heavy tanks have to suffer so much damage to even just make it out of the central hilltop. But I think it was poorly negotiated still from PvP. You know, they should have not left the West Side completely deserted.
Yeah, most definitely. So although the first tier 8 does go down on the Silidux side, so they are slightly at a disadvantage. On the Silidux side, they still have all their AMX-13s on the Western Isle. They should at least start pulling a couple of them back to back up, at least Vayne here, because if Vayne goes down, there are going to be no more heavy, or at least heavier forces left on the Silidux side. And Silidux actually also losing Musketeer and another T1 going down.
Their sheer defensive armor.
And a T-69.
Well, you know what, like, to be honest with you, like you had mentioned, I think Silidux played better in terms of teamwork, and that surrounding maneuver was good, but it's just you can't withstand that much firepower and armor. It's just there's so much more room for mistakes when it comes to the PvP side, just because, I mean, look at that, it's just even if you take like 3 shots into the same tank, you're still alive, you can still shoot pretty much. Whereas
you're still at least fairly healthy.
Exactly, because those 1390s, you take 2 shots and you're already in trouble.
Yeah, so and you're pretty much about to die. And the thing is, that's exactly just how PvP Banana won. Even though Silidux had the better positioning, better maneuverability, landing even more shots than their opponents. However, just due to the sheer fact that PvP Banana had much more hit points and armor and just firepower, and they were able to withstand the initial onslaught of those AMX-13s. Once that onslaught finished, it was just capable.
Well, exactly. It's just a little bit overly ambitious when it comes to their tank selection, like straight up. Because
and had actually they just switched a couple of those light tanks for heavier tanks,
or even those mediums, pretty much. Instead of that Pershing, go for a T-32, for instance. Even a T-32 would have like held the fort long enough for those 1390s,
or at least longer.
Exactly. I would have like picked a pair of T32s and probably changed one of those 1390s for T69. And that's a much more balanced like
well,
setup.
that's a very standard setup.
Exactly,
it's
it's a PvP. It's a PvP Super Friend setup, but that's what I would have done. Or even like maybe go for a 5100 right like still at my northern base to provide cover fire. Because like right now unfortunately, I mean look at that, like the PvP tanks have suffered a lot of damage but they're still alive.
I know.
And that's the biggest problem really. I mean those 1390s can really they're extremely fast and good tanks pretty much. I mean they do have that autoloader, but in terms of damage against heavy tanks, against Ice Freeze, what can you do?
Oh, actually the T32 on the PvP side going down here, the base capture also starting for PvP. So they do have a huge lead right now, and it's going to be extremely hard for the Slidox to even have a chance in coming back, but they're still trying.
Honestly, it was game over like since like probably like 3 to 4 minutes ago. But
I mean, but Tomodi here trying to 1v1 against KU. KU down, both of them down to one shot here.
No, which is really unfortunate because like with just a slightly heavier setup, I think Silly Dogs probably would have taken this.
Yeah,
they did play better in terms of like just spreading out like and owning the map early on.
Yeah, honestly, if the Silly Dogs had a total amongst their teams like 1,000 more hit points,
yeah,
this would have been an easy victory for them.
Indeed, I think so too, because look at the PP tanks. So many of them are like a shot away from dying. Pretty much.
Oh, actually, here we go. Oh, managing to take out top cell here. Nice job by him. He takes out 2 of those tanks. He's trying to go in for the IS-3 here. He's not going to make it, I think, because the base capture does happen.